Check out the LA Jackson Show Monday through Friday on www.rawtruthradio.net. You just never know what you're going to hear next.
Know just what it feels like. Come over and dance with me. Oh, babe. Won't you come over and dance with me? Come over and dance with me. Come over and dance with me. Oh, babe. I see you over there sitting in the corner.
Okay, and we are back on track. We're jumping here with Jimi Starks, former VP of Black Music for Sony Music. When I met him, he was the Atlanta Epic promotion man, and since then moved up the ranks, went to New York, left me to hang out down here with those crazy folks at the branch. But
no, you did just fine, man. You made me proud. After coming up to Epic, and I remember one story, and I don't know if you even remember this. I came back to Atlanta, and we had a Jack the Rapper at the Marriott Hotel.
Oh, that was when it just opened, and I remember that.
Just opened.
You had the presidential suite.
I had the presidential suite, and I'd been away from home for so long in New York because I was still transitioning, trying to find a house. I was living in hotels.
Right.
Well, the last thing I wanted to do was stay in a hotel, so I remember you coming over and me throwing you the keys and saying, look, I'm going home. My home in Atlanta, and you just have fun. And I remember you had fun.
Yes, I did for 3 days. Oh my gosh! Hey, that was so much fun. Once again, I have to thank you. I made a lot of personal history that weekend. But I tell you, man, and it's interesting that you brought up Jack the Rapper, because that was one of the premier music conferences in the Southeast, if not the country. And again, you were there from the very beginning of all those things. And now all these music conventions, they just seem to be lacking something in comparison to what Jack the Rapper offered as far as the seminars and the music artists. So tell us, how did Jack the Rapper convention come around? What was that?
Well,
the family affair?
I'll tell you what happened. Now, I first came into contact with Jack the Rapper when I was, this is no lie, when I was 10 years old.
10 years old?
He used to be on the radio at WCIM in Cincinnati, and he called himself Jockey Jack.
Jockey Jack.
Yep. And that's when I met him when I was 10 years old. I think he went to work for a record company, and I think he just kind of bounced around for a while, and he decided, let me start this convention. And it was Jack the Rapper.
Wow.
And when the same year, 2 years afterwards, because his first convention, Jack's first convention, I think, was 1978, and they had it at the Colony Square Hotel in Atlanta on 14th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And we attended. A lot of people started attending. And I think 2 years later is when Sidney Miller, who used to work, I think, for Capitol Records, started BRE, Black Radio Exclusive.
That's right, on the West Coast.
Yes. So you had East and West Coast conventions, and the record companies, we all supported them. We went to all of their conventions, and you learned stuff. They had workshops at the convention. It wasn't just hanging out. A lot of seminars, a lot of guest speakers. You got awards on the banquet nights, and you brought your artists in to showcase them.
Mm-hmm.
New artists or artists that you said you knew that was going to be huge, you would bring in. And then for the banquet night, we'd always bring in some superstar artists to come in and perform. I mean, we had Luther Vandross at Jack the Rapper.
That's right.
I remember Motown had Eddie Kendricks there, Curtis Mayfield. Dear friend of mine, Curtis, would always show up.
Wow. I remember one time we went to a Sony music convention in Vancouver, and again, this was the earlier part of my career there, and we had a Taboo record nights, and we flew Tom Joyner in, and back then he was flying between Chicago and Dallas, and look at him now.
Oh, yeah. I met Tom. First time I met Tom Joyner, he was at WJPC in Chicago.
Okay.
And he wasn't flying. He wasn't a shock jock then. He wasn't the travel jock, or the fly jock, as he used to call himself. He was based right there at the Johnson Publications.
Wow.
They owned WJPC. And it was an AM radio station. He was in Chicago.
AM.
Yeah.
And now he's syndicated.
And that was through Eddie Thomas again. I mean, you know, Eddie was my mentor. Eddie was strict. He loved you, and he would teach you the correct way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing Eddie did not tolerate, that was tardiness.
Even if you were 1 minute late.
I'll tell you a story.
I'm all ears.
Eddie and I were going to Milwaukee, and there was a snowstorm. Now, Eddie lived right off of Stony Isle on the east side. We're all on the south side, but we used to call it over east. And I lived on 65th and Ellis, which was on the west side of Stony Island. Stony Island was like a big street that ran all the way parallel with the Lake Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get up, and I never will forget, I had a 65 Chevy. I get up, plenty of time, I said, oh goodness, okay, it's snowing. So I'm cleaning out my car, and it's still snowing, so as fast as I could get it cleaned off, more snow would fall. I get in the car, and I finally get out of the parking space, and I'm driving over the eddies, and I'm supposed to be at 6 o'clock. Now, mind you, there is a blizzard, and I'm driving, and I'm thinking, good grief, trying to keep the snow off and wiping it and the whole works, and even the windshield wipers weren't helping.
Wow.
So to make a long story short, I get to Eddie's house, and I pull up in front of his house, and all of a sudden I look up, and there's Eddie. He's standing in the garage, and he's pointing to his watch, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with you, right? I get out of the car, and I said, good morning, Eddie, and he was like, you're late. And I said, what do you mean I'm late? You're supposed to be here at 6. Well, I looked at my watch, it's 1 minute after 6. He says, 6 o'clock, not 6:01. I said, Eddie, there's a snowstorm, there's a blizzard. We're not even going to get to Milwaukee. I don't care. 6 o'clock is 6 o'clock.
Now that's being a stickler for time.
That's why I became a stickler for time. And as you know, when I had my meetings, they started on time.
That's right. You
and
sure
did
did.
not tolerate people being late.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Eddie would give you the world, but you learned the right. You had to work for it. You had to work for it. Eddie had to know that you really wanted to do what you wanted to do. He put you through the paces. And I found out later why he was like that. Because that's the way he was taught.
Oh, okay.
You know, I remember one time Eddie told a story, and he had never told me this. Eddie was a valet for Jerry Butler.
A valet for Jerry Butler?
For Jerry Butler. This is before the Impressions, right? And I remember one time Jerry wanted Eddie, he told Eddie, shine my shoes. And this was in front of Georgie Woods. Georgie Woods was one of the big program directors out of, I think he was out of Philadelphia. And Eddie was like, huh? You know, why you want me to do this in front of these people, you know? But it was, in other words, it was like, okay, I'm going to show you who's boss, you know? I don't think Jerry was being malicious. I think he was just showing off.
Okay.
But one thing, and Eddie did the task. He did what he had to do. That was his job. But he learned, don't let your pride get in the way of feeding your family. You follow me? And Eddie did a similar thing to me. It wasn't as bad. But when I first went to Chicago and he pulled me out of the studio and taught me the record business, Eddie was a smart man. I mean, I saw Eddie sell one of his, he had an Eldorado. He sold his Eldorado to get money to start a limousine company. And he did it. One day he had me take him to the Lakeside Bank, and had me follow him. He had the caddy. He went in, he came out, his car was gone. I said, well, what about the caddy? He said, I just sold it.
To the bank?
Yeah, I said, why? He said, we're going to limousine business. I said, who? He said, you and I. I said, what do you think about the limousine business? He said, you know how to drive.
Well, you had your first job then because you were driving him back from the bank now, huh?
Yeah, so we was driving, so what we did, we started limousine business. We started one car and ended up with 7 cars, including a white Rolls Royce. So that's the kind of thing that Eddie would do in order to get ahead. You follow me?
Yeah, that's a player move right there.
And then, and to bring the story back, Eddie was always thinking. I mean, I would drive by his car, and Eddie would type. Eddie would do like the 2-finger typing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You see him sitting in the window with his little typewriter, just going to town. Tick, 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 tick. I mean, like 2 in the morning, and there's T, you know. And I'm like, T, I call T, go to bed. And he said, how do you know? I said, I'm looking at you. I mean, go to bed. But he was always thinking. We got to Chicago. Eddie and a friend of his bought this bar next to the post office. And the reason they bought it next to the post office is because they used to work at the post office, both of them.
Holy cow.
And he knew at certain times when people got off shift, they come on to the bar and have lunch or breakfast, whatever, and they drink.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie and his partner bought this bar. And I was working one day, and he said, Jimmy, come on, go with me again. And we went over to this bar, and he said, okay, I'm going to put you to work here. I went, doing what? So he said, well, you got to clean up. So I swept floors and whatever, and he said, no, you don't be the bartender. Well, I didn't even drink. What do I know about making drinks?
Wow.
But guess what? I learned real quickly.
Real quick.
But the reason he did that, he wanted to find out how hungry I was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could have said, look, I don't do that. That's not what I'm here for.
Right.
But it was like, okay, look, I know what you do. I know how successful you are. And in order to make this business work, if I got to help out, I help out.
There you
go. It wasn't like he didn't pay me. You follow me?
Exactly.
But after I worked there like 2 weeks, and he was like, okay, come on, I got somebody else to do it. And he actually told me, he said, you know, he said, when I told you, look, grab a broom and sweep up, he said, you just did it. He said, whatever I asked you to do, you did it, you washed dishes. And he said, that showed me about your character. Well, you know, as he said, you do whatever it takes to feed your family. You follow me?
That's right.
And it paid off. But he just did it just to find out, are you really committed? Do you want to learn? I'll teach you, but let me find out if you really have a commitment. What do you really want to learn about the music business? Yeah,
and that's what people should be thinking about today when they are jumping into the business. And, you know, they don't, you know, you're not going to hang around long if you just kind of wear out really easy, you know?
Well, you know, we used to call it paying dues. And nobody wants to pay dues these days.
Uh-huh.
Everybody wants to start at the top.
Microwave.
Well, if you start at the top, guess what? You have nowhere to go but down.
No place else to go.
You have nowhere to go but down.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a long time ago, whatever job you have, I don't care what it is. If it's digging a ditch, you better be the best ditch digger there is. Try to be the best whatever you do.
That's right. Well, hey, we're going to take another break. We're going to play another track from the Exposure CD. But when we come back, we're going to talk about you rubbing elbows and working under folks like Tommy Mottola, Walter Yetnikoff, Al Teller, all these guys, you know, that you've known for so long. And we'll also talk about your spin on technology and where multimedia is today. So hang in. We'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Singing harpist Lyrica's Attention is track number 5 on the Exposure 3 CD. So, ready, set, let's go.
Did I mention need to get my attention? Ooh, true game plus commission. You'll get your bonus check at the end of the mission. Looking good, smelling good, talking good. Are you from the hood? Can you do it good, baby? Are you the right one for me? Are you the right one for me? Riding to the club with my girls right beside me. Drop top, phantom plush, leather, black and burgundy. Looking for someone who can keep my attention. Are you the one who can fill that position? Can't help but stay, you got me hypnotized. From head to toe, baby, you're blowing my mind. I wanna know if you are worth my time. Cause I'm hard to please and hard to satisfy. Looking for a guy who can get my attention. Did I mention need to get my attention? Ooh, true game plus commission. You'll get your bonus check at the end of the mission. Looking good, smelling good, talking good. Are you from the hood? Can you do it good, baby? Are you the right one for me? Are you the right one for me? You talk a good game, but baby, can you back it up? Been waiting a long time, so let me see if you're enough. You know you talk a good game, but baby, can you back it up? Baby, can you back it up? Baby, let me back it up. I know that you're the one, so I'ma have some fun. I got a fantasy, including you and me. So come on, let me take you on a ride. I got something in mind for you, I know you wanna try. Looking for a guy who can get my attention. Did I mention need to get my attention? Ooh, true game plus commission. You'll get your bonus check at the end of the mission. Looking good, smelling good, talking good. Are you from the hood? Can you do it good, baby? Are you the right one for me? Are you the right one for me? Back to the house, keys in the front door. They say talk's cheap, so drop your clothes to the floor. Just follow my lead and let me show you the way. In the back of my mind, the different games we're gonna play. So take a seat, dear, next to me here. I'm gonna be your favorite treat, dear. The way you're moving, boy, it feels so right. The way I'm feeling, this may last all night. Boy, you got my attention, my one attention. To keep this position, there are a few conditions. Boy, you got my attention, my one attention. To keep this position, there are a few conditions. That you be around when I come in town. No playing games, you better put it down. That you be around when I come in town. No playing games, you better put it down. Looking for a guy who can get my attention. Did I mention need to get my attention? Ooh, true game plus commission. You'll get your bonus check at the end of the mission. Looking good, smelling good, talking good. Are you from the hood? Can you do it good, baby? Are you the right one for me? Are you the right one for me?
What a great song by Lyrica. It certainly got my attention, and you can find a whole lot more about Lyrica online just by Googling Lyrica and go ahead and put a heart next to that. See what comes up. Okay, we are back with the man himself, the man that called shots at Epic Records, Columbia Records, Sony Music Distribution, just all over the place. And, he made sure that our reports were spelled. If there was one typo, we heard about it. So he has, very good qualities as far as leadership and penmanship and everything in between. So tell us what it's like, being under pressure when we got to bring a record home and make it sell and get some airplay. What's it like having Tommy Mottola and Walter Yetnikoff and Al Teller, those guys all creeping down your neck wanting results?
Well, pressure I was used to. I hear people talk about pressure, but when I was doing promotion, it used to be called special markets before with black music. Mm-hmm. We handled all records from all labels, not just Columbia, Epic. Everything came through our funnel. So we were juggling a lot of records, and that's what you call pressure. You follow me? So when I went to Epic Records, I only had one label. That was no big deal. And then later, I worked for Columbia Records. I was the first black person to do pop promotion.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I worked for Bob Sherwood.
Sherwood.
I broke Kenny Loggins' I Believe in Love. Got the first ad in the country at Q102 in Cincinnati in 77.
Wow.
Worked country music, the whole works. Music to me is music. I like all types of music.
Me too.
But it wasn't a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And when I went back to distribution, I should say, under Paul Smith.
Big Paul.
Under distribution. And the reason I went over is because when I was working promotion, I said, Paul, we're working, getting all this airplay. We need these records in the stores.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't they in our mom and pop stores or in labels in independent stores? So finally, he got tired of me bugging him. He said, Jimmy, you've been giving me grief for the last 15 years. Come on over here and start a division.
Wow.
I mean, well, okay, that's a challenge, right? And
Yeah,
I was making all this noise. It's like, okay, you think you can do it better? Come over and do it.
Mm.
And I agreed. I said, okay, I'll leave that Epic Records. I said, but here's the deal. Give me a free hand to do what I need to do, to hire whom I want to hire.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over, and I think it was 88. That's when I went back to distribution.
That sounds about right.
And I worked distribution. I was the liaison between the big chain stores and the independents, right?
Uh-huh.
Like the one-stops.
Right.
And I would go to Lieberman or one of those big houses and say, look, this record's going to be a hit because I got a buzz coming in from the south side of Chicago. Atlanta's on it, and the sales are coming from the independents in Ohio or whatever. I had key cities, and I knew those key cities would affect them.
Mm.
And if I hit certain cities and I said, this account is doing this, that, and that, they start bringing the record in, and you got mass distribution, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how we worked every day. Well, I hired one guy, a guy by the name of Andy Kohler.
Oh, I remember Andy out in L.A.
Yeah, Andy, he was my first hiree, I should say. Andy had been with the company at that time over 20 years. He was a merchandiser.
Wow.
I
Hanging
used to see
posters.
Andy at conventions, and I was thinking, this guy is always here. What is he doing? So I talked to him one day, and I said, what do you do? He said, well, I'm a merchandiser. I said, you've been a merchandiser 20 years? So I said, look, I flew into L.A., and I said, okay, Andy, from now on, you report to me. You work for me. And I looked at his pay scale, and I said, and I'm giving you a raise. I tripled his salary.
You
paid
what?
All the back pay. I tripled his salary.
Tripled. Holy cow.
Yes. I said, you work for me. He said, what do I do? I said, you do everything you've been doing, only now you do it for me, and here are the stores I want you to cover.
Mm.
So Andy started covering all of the independent stores, you follow me?
Uh-huh.
And he said, well, why am I doing it? I said, just do it, don't ask questions, and you report directly to me.
Mm, 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 mm.
Well, what Andy was actually doing was making sure that the concept that we had for the BMMRs, and the Black Music Marketing Reps, which you became one of later on.
That's right, the Magnificent Seven.
I knew the concept would work, but I had to prove it. And I let Andy do that for 1 year. And I started hiring interns during the time of Christmas and that whole holiday season. Black Music Month.
Mm-hmm.
Black Music Month, I hired
February.
interns. And we call them detailers. They would go out and they put up merchandising in the independent stores the same way you would do in a Kmart and Walmart, those
That's
kind
right.
of stores.
Yeah.
Only they did it for the black stores.
Nice.
And when the concept worked, that's when I started hiring Black Music Marketing Reps all over the country.
All over.
And I made sure that they reported directly to me. They
That's
had a
right.
guideline to the branch managers because I didn't want the branch to feel like, well, hey, they could do what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. And trust me,
right.
it was a fight. You know, it was always a fight between the branch and the national office.
Yeah, but, in my case, I knew most of the branch managers, and I got along with them. But they knew the buck stopped with me.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they understood that was no problem. I usually didn't have a problem. Every once in a while somebody would try and, flex their muscles, and I flex mine also. I always won.
Uh-huh. That's the truck wins every time.
Yeah, then later on I started a gospel division, had gospel reps, and the same thing, they reported directly to me.
Nice.
Working for people like Walter Yetnick. Walter was funny. I mean, you could go into Walter's office and talk directly to Walter. Walter was like, he didn't care, like, hey, tell me the truth.
Wow.
He just wanted to hear the truth. You tell him the truth. He might not have liked it like Paul Smith, but at least he knew what the deal was.
That's cool.
And I love working for Walter. Walter Yetnick was one of my favorites.
Good guy. So where are things with the record industry of yesteryear versus where we are today? What's your vision on the technology? Is there too much technology and not enough creativity? What's going on with this whole technology thing in the media?
Well, technology is a good thing, but what it has done, it has taken away the day-to-day, the face-to-face contact away. It's like the networking is gone. Through social media now, I'll give you a good example. It used to be if you want to get a job, you would go and you would meet somebody face-to-face and you would network and you see their faces. Now people use stuff like, LinkedIn and Facebook, and they put their resumes online and never see a person. They, as a consequence, they very seldom get hired.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody talks to each other anymore.
Nope.
I mean, you'll see kids sitting in the airport, sitting next to each other, and they're texting each other instead of just talking. They don't talk, which is dumb.
Right next to each other.
One thing that Paul Smith used to say, most problems are communication problems.
Mm-hmm.
In the record business, because we don't communicate. And what I see now is things that Lockett Arnold would do or Cecil Holmes would do. Or people like Jerry Griffith. Jerry Griffith was a great A&R person. He's actually the person that discovered Whitney Houston, not Clive Davis.
Okay.
It was Jerry Griffiths.
Okay.
He was the original West Coast Willie.
West Coast Willie.
He worked for Columbia. But he's the one who discovered Whitney Houston.
Okay.
But what Jerry would do, or Larkin, or Cecil, they would go out and they go to clubs and they actually see these artists and they would sign them. Most A&R people now, they do.
They're reading reports.
They're back and they look at YouTube or they look at social media. Well, this group sounds good, but they don't go out anymore.
Don't see that live environment.
And personally, I think promotion people, I don't even know what they do anymore. Because you can't really go to a program or musical director anymore and say, look, this record's coming out, it's hot, da-da-da-da. You can't do that because most of your musical program directors don't have the authority or the autonomy now to add a record.
Mm-hmm.
Very few.
That's right. The whole game has changed.
They're all being programmed by these one consultants in the West Coast or East Coast, and they're doing a chain of radio stations.
That's
As a consequence, if you were to drive, hypothetically, from New York to Atlanta, and you put it on a radio station, as you go through different cities and hit different radio stations, you are going to hear those same records at least 3 times.
That's right.
Because they are being programmed by the same source.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the other thing that, in my opinion, this is really my opinion, the worst thing that happened to the music business, you took the music people out of the business.
Yep. Now you got pharmacists and accountants running the business.
You have attorneys and you have accountants, but you don't have any music people. They wouldn't know an eighth note from a quarter note.
Nope.
There was only one person that I knew was a musician, and that was Bruce Lundvall with the Blue Note.
Okay.
Bruce is a musician.
Okay.
You follow me?
And look at the success they had over there.
Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss from A&M Records.
A&M Records.
They were musicians.
That's right. And they signed Janet Jackson.
Thank you. But what people now that you have a musician? You don't.
You don't.
No, you have a lot of yes people. You have people that are afraid of losing their jobs. So as a consequence, they would do anything to protect them.
That's right.
They would backstab you, me, or anybody. And put anybody down just to keep their jobs.
Just to keep their jobs, man. That's
and
crazy.
When you have people that are afraid of their jobs, all of a sudden you don't get creative people. You don't get good people anymore. You get people that you can pay low salaries to. And they're not going to make any waves.
Nope.
And as a consequence, they don't threaten your job if you're a VP or a senior VP or president.
Correct. That's correct.
The music business today, quite frankly, sucks.
I hear you. I look at it the same way. So, in your opinion, before we close out, can you give us some words of advice, or what kind of words of guidance would you give to people either just coming out in the industry or considering making it a career move?
What I would do, I'm going to give you advice someone gave me. Person told me, he said, Jimmy, do what you love. And we were fortunate enough to work in an environment in the business that we loved. I used to tell people I would do my job for free, and I wasn't just starting off. That's how much I loved doing what I did. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, be passionate. If there's something that you love, something that you really want to do, then you know what? That's what you pursue. Pursue your heart and your passion. You know, now, there are a lot of other jobs that would pay money, but what good is it doing a job that you hate?
That's right.
I mean, you know, okay, I'm making money, but you're miserable. You're not enjoying yourself.
Not happy.
Do what you're good at. Music is something that we loved, and we were good at it. You follow me?
Yep.
So I would tell people now, if you want to get into the entertainment business, you have to first love it. And don't go in saying, well, I want to make a lot of money, because if you're going in for the money, you will fail. You will make money, but first of all, learn your craft.
Learn your craft.
And don't think you're going to start at the top, because you are not. And even if somebody made you president of what's left of one of the major labels, you wouldn't last a week.
That's pretty harsh.
You have to pay your due. Get your education, and there's nothing wrong with it. Always get your education, but seek what you really want to do. And, you know, be very determined to go all the way through. No matter what you have to do, as long as it's legal, do it.
And here's an artist on the Exposure 3 CD who fought every inch to do it his way. Joe Black is doing big things on the battleground down in Trinidad Tobago. And here's one of many tracks this hip-hopper has out there, VVIP Ballin'. Check it.
Yeah.
Know the air is really clear. Up here on my champagne cloud, my VIP.
So if you wanna get down, VIP, gotta roll with me. So if you wanna get down, VIP, roll with ecstasy. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballin'.
Oh, we such a baller. Swaggers on the corner, and nothing like mine. Like a 24 persona. Make that shot. Get that money. Yeah, get them hot. And I'm talking honeys. A little bit of rock star, little bit of pop star. 3-piece suit square, still a hip hop star. Transition from just rap to a Beatles scene. This is some facts that you need to see.
So if you wanna get down, VIP, gotta roll with me. So if you wanna get down, VIP, roll with ecstasy. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. Ballin', ballin'.
Bright lights, camera action. Call me Mr. Satisfaction. Welcome to the nightlife. This ain't no Facebook interaction. The famous pop the bottle, living out these champagne dreams. I got these dimes, you call them models. Shorty's cashing out on me. I want them all. Nah, ma, this ain't Drizzy. Check me by the bar, me and you looking like a million. Your girlfriend on me too because the split for looking easy. And I bet by the end of the night, we getting busy.
Yeah, where's my fanfare? Put the smoke machine on. Paparazzi taking pics, Versace shades on. Roll out the red carpet, the stretch Hummer rolls up. Where's my valet parking? Treat up in Johnny walking. Kick my feet up in the VIP room. Rose by the bottles, getting from a model. Yeah, she swallow. It's a family affair, so we running things. Stunning cats everywhere like we walking
So if
lanes.
you wanna get down, VIP, gotta roll with me. So if you wanna get down, VIP, roll with ecstasy. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballers, ballers. We ballin', ballin'.
Big ballin'. Till the rain start falling. Yeah. Big things are going. Well, they don't know how we just do it. Cloud9. Yeah.
We've got to get this guy to America. Yeah, that's Joe Black with VVIP Ballin' off the Exposure 3 CD that comes free with my book, Musicology 2101, a quick start guide to music biz history. Our special guest Jimmy Starks has his very own autographed copy, and now let's find out a little bit more about what he's got going on. Yes?
Even though I retired, I still have a record company. It's called JHS Music. It's called JHS Media, and we'll have a website, the whole works.
Good.
And I just handle certain artists now. I'll find artists that I like. We do books. And, LA, I need to talk to you about putting your book on the website, selling it through my site.
Absolutely. And, I'm just about ready to drop the second book, so it's a great time to set all that up, man. And I was just going to ask you before we closed out to go ahead and tell everybody what kind of things you've got going on right now in the present, as well as your contact and information to follow you and, keep up with what you're doing.
Well, I'm doing a book. It's called Any Love, and Any Love will be out next year.
Hey, I know that title. That's a Luther. That's Luther Vandross.
That's why I got it in the book that I'm doing, which will be a documentary. Avon, Thomas, and Arnold. I mentioned how Any Love became the title of the novel. It's a novel. It's a murder mystery. That'll be coming out next year.
It's wait a minute, murder mystery. It's not about the music industry.
Well, it is about the music industry. The working title used to be called Radio until I came up with Any Love. Lockett and I came up with it one day, sitting in his backyard in L.A. drinking beer. He put on a Luther Vandross record, Any Love, and I said, Lockett, that's it. And he said, what? That's just the title to my book.
There you go.
Any Love. And it just seemed to fit, so that worked out.
Cool.
I'm doing that. I'm doing the book Any Love. I'm doing a documentary. It's called Avon, Thomas, and Arnold. That will be a book and a documentary.
Okay.
We're doing the second part to Any Love. The follow-up book is called Judgment. So I've always been writing and still write songs, the whole works.
Nice.
I do what I love. And now that I'm retired, I have time to do what I enjoy.
That is so nice, yeah, to have the actual time to pursue your dreams, man. That's got to be great.
Well, people say, now you're still working. I said, well, look, I'm not dead.
Exactly.
Just because I retired from corporate life does not mean I retired from life.
Exactly.
I'm doing now, I have the time to do what I love, and I'm not under the pressure now.
Exactly.
I don't have anybody calling me saying you have a conference call,
mm-hmm.
or I'm in L.A., and they say you have to be back in New York in the morning, which means you have to grab the red eye. You follow me?
That's right, and you traveled a lot.
People say that.
I remember you used to tell me about the time you were traveling so much, you really got sleep, and you didn't mind getting 2 to 4 hours of sleep sometimes.
That's exactly right.
That's just amazing. That is real hard right there.
Well, right now I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do what you enjoy, and I still enjoy the music business. I love it. I'm doing film now, the whole works. So
nice.
That's what I like doing.
Exactly.
I get to pursue all the things I want to do, and I get to play with my toys now.
There you go. And you still got a bunch of your old friends from 30, 40 years ago.
Oh, I still talk to, of course, John Doyle. John Doyle was at Sony Records, between Sony Music and CBS Records.
Yeah, I remember
40
John.
years.
Uh-huh.
Craig Applequist, a dear friend of mine, and
Okay.
Andy Cole and I talk every week.
Nice.
Joe Stills, and of course, you, Young Jackson.
That's right, man. I tell you what, it's just been a pleasure knowing you from day one. We never had any major issues. We were always, cordial and hanging out. I mean, you were like a friend, like a father, like a brother. All of these things wrapped up in one to me.
Well, you and my son Larry.
Larry, how's Larry doing?
And went in the music business. He works for Epic Records, and he was promotion man of the year 4 times, 4 years straight.
Get out of here. For real?
Very, very proud of him. Oh, yeah, he was hot.
Nice.
Yeah, he's in North Carolina now and doing really well.
That's good, man.
But you've known him since he was a kid.
Yeah, I remember when he was a shy little kid and didn't even hardly want to talk to nobody, and now look at him.
Oh, look at gift of gab.
That's right. And somebody else, I remember Tyler Pittman. He was starting off as a intern or a mailroom clerk, and I was showing him how to mail records. And
he became the singles coordinator. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. And he even married Donzit. Remember Donzit Moore?
Of course, I remember.
Yeah, and now let me get the back of my book. He gave me an endorsement, and yep, he's vice president of sales for Columbia Records right now. Ain't that something?
Tyler. Yeah, good for Tyler.
That is amazing.
Remember Roger Manning, who was the branch manager?
My first branch manager. That's right. He's the one that threw me out there when I came into branch and said, I want to be like Quincy Jones. And he was like, there's the mailroom.
Yeah, he certainly did.
Yeah, big shout outs to all our old branch members. Yeah, Roger, I tell you, but he's had an incredible story too, because he was with the distribution of CBS Records for so long, and then went over, after so long, he went over to, what was that, MCA?
Yeah, MCA Records.
And did that for a while. So, again, another true pioneer in the industry who's managed to navigate like you have all the way through, and was actually able to choose a retirement. I mean, a lot of folks, I made it 10 years, and I was doing studio work, and I managed Baba OJ from Arrested Development and did a bunch of things. But man, I just hope that I can get to the point that I can actually, like you, just retire and spend your whole professional career in the industry. That's quite a milestone.
Well, I have a few projects that I'm working on now, so you and I should get together and come on, let's do them together.
Yeah, let's do some stuff and make it happen.
Let's have some fun.
That's
as long
right.
as we're having fun, then that's what it's all about.
There we go. And you also have a blog, man. I read a couple of your entries, man. Tell us about that.
Well, the blog is going to be an extension of the website, and it's jhsmedia.net/blog, and that's I just go in there and talk about things that I feel like talking about that day. No particular subject. Something may strike my fancy. One day I was driving down the street and I saw a lady next to me in the car. She was we were on the freeway, and she was talking on the phone, and she had her eyes closed, but she was driving 60 miles per hour, and I had to blow the horn like, lady, you're not at home. But you're driving down the freeway at 60 miles per hour with your eyes closed.
Wow.
I mean, incredible. So I started writing about that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, should we really let people ride around without headsets? It's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are the kind of things that we write about, different subjects, and then I invite people, give me your comments.
Mm-hmm.
This is really just my opinion, what I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's opened up for good dialogue.
There you go.
And then on the website itself, which would be jhsmedia.net, that's when I'm going to talk about selling the books, music. And I'm just going to expose people to new things that we're doing as far as films are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And if people have projects, then just send them.
That is amazing.
And that's just mailed to jhsmedia.net. Or just, if you really want to get to me, just go to jhsmedia@bellsouth.net, and I'll get it.
That's cool. Can you say it one more time for the people that's taking...
jhsmedia.
Okay.
@bellsouth.net.
That's great.
If you have ideas, or if you have music you're trying to expose, or if you're a writer, because I'm putting together a little stable now. I want illustrators, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I want writers. I want film people. I want musicians. Because we're just going to put a little thing together, and everybody can share in the wealth.
That is excellent.
I'm not greedy. But we have to pool the talent.
That's
we have
right.
to pool the talent. And what I want to do is try to direct people into fields that they're really good at.
Mm-hmm.
You want to manage people. I've managed people, goodness, over 40 years. But I think I'm pretty good at it.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
And when you're running a multi-billion-dollar company and you're responsible for doing your share, and you never miss, I think you're pretty good at what you do.
I would concur with that, sir.
So let's just get people together. I mean, you know, if you have something you want to send in. Or LA, they can send it to your website.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, we have another network that we should mention. I'm also the marketing director at the Georgia Music Industry Association. That's www.gmia.org. And we got some great people there that help with forming mentorships and all kinds of stuff. And we're always on the move upward. We always have something great happening. So we have a pool that we can at least initially start to tap into. And instead of it just being there, we can actually do some great things with it, Jimmy.
Oh, well, let's do it.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
And I really appreciate you having me on. And it's great talking to you, man. I mean, good grief. We go back so many years.
That's right.
We've done so many things. We had a lot of great memories together.
That's right, man. And we got all these old memories. We've got pictures together, history together. And guess what, man? It ain't over. And I'm just looking forward to the future, the new future, with the new wave of what L.A. and Jimmy has cooking.
Well, it's going to be a new chapter, you know?
A new chapter. I like that. That's perfect.
And we still have our little stable together, our people that we work with, and you know, Bird's still writing and still playing.
Say hi to Bird for me, man.
Still writing and still playing. So
cool.
You know, he's a heck of a guitarist, and even the grandkids. You
That's
know,
right.
One plays saxophone.
Nice.
And one plays trumpet.
Oh my goodness, that's
so.
wonderful.
I mean, they're really good. So you know, let's keep it in the family. Let's make it work.
Let's do it.
And you know what? And I love your book.
Thank you so much, man.
I gotta tell you, I really love what you've done. I remember when you started writing it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I told you, continue to write every day.
I'm
really proud of you. Really proud of what you've accomplished, my friend.
Well, listen, I do appreciate that, and I certainly am very humbled by you spending time with me. I mean, we planned on talking for a short minute, and we ended up talking and talking. We just can't end because we have so much stuff to talk. We have so much history. So you got a million other things you could have been doing, but you spent the time with me, and for that I am eternally grateful and humble. You could have been anywhere else. You know so many people. You certainly could have spent the last few minutes, no pun intended, but you certainly could have spent the time somewhere else. So we appreciate you spending time with us, and we hope you come back. We want to talk about some new stuff that we've done since this conversation. So definitely, you always have carte blanche on the L.A. Jackson Show.
Well, you know what? I would love to come back. Let's get some things going, and then we can talk about what we've done on the next show.
Exactly. That's wonderful. Well, as always, I like to close out the show with one of my sayings, and that is, God wants us all to do something good for Him, but first, we have to do something good for ourselves. I'm L.A. Jackson with my man, my mentor, my buddy, Jimmy Starks.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
Take care, bro.
Okay.
And since Jimmy loves guitars so much, we'll close the show out with another hot act off the Exposure 3 CD, Jana Jung, with track number 11, Another Blues.
like, notice what it feels like. Come over and dance with me. Oh, baby. Won't you come over and dance with me? Come over and dance with me. Come over and dance with me. Oh, baby. I see you over there sitting in the corner.
Check out the LA Jackson Show Monday through Friday on www.rawtruthradio.net. You just never know what you're going to hear next.